Hi everyone. This is to talk about my 5 promotional advertising outlets. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to identify or gather any of the media kits and rate cards from my personal city, so I'll walk you through the examples that were given to us from Professor Caudill. The first one being the Arizona Daily Star. Um, for this one, it was really good for my target audience simply because of the reach. They said they had 13,700,000 page views per month on their websites. And, you know, they did have the 18 to 34, which 24%, which is still pretty high and right in my age range. And they had probably about 40% in my income and about 60% in my level of education. So overall, I did think that that was a good fit for my target audience, and the reach was a little was too good to pass up, I guess you could say. In terms of rate, per column inch was about $1.50, and a full page was around $4,000. Moving on to my magazine, this is based off of Vegas Magazine, which has a circulation of around 65,000, both online and in person. This magazine was targeted for like a luxury lifestyle, which I thought was honestly a great route to go when you're trying to sell a premium drink. This target audience or these readers is probably older, simply because there's not a lot of people ages 23 to 28 that are making that kind of money, and they're probably way above my level of income. Although that's not to say that they're not, a market that wouldn't purchase my drink. When it comes to costs, they're pretty pricey. One full page could run around $10,000 to $20,000, and the cover was as high as $40,000. Moving on to the radio that I was given. This is based on Kansas City radio. They really didn't so this was like a non-profit radio station, so I think that's why it was a little bit different, but they didn't have an most expensive time, least expensive time. They had like a flat monthly rate that was based on the amount of spots, 30-second spots daily that you had, so that ranged from $50 for 2 30-seconds to $120 for 5 30-second ads. Overall, the demographics was, right in my age range. However, the educational attainment as well as the income level, I just think, sadly, a minority population typically isn't in the higher level of income brackets. They don't have as much resources to always go to college and things of that nature. So, for based on those reasons, the listeners were, a little off par with my target audience. Moving on to the TV station, which was KOTV. I wasn't able to identify the viewers, and there wasn't really any information about demographics and psychographics. I did try to Google it, I tried to look on their website, couldn't find any of it. However, they did have this big, I don't know what, I guess you would call it, like one of their programs was called Prime Television, and was, pretty high in price, so I imagine it's very well trafficked, and it was from like 7 to 10 p.m. Every day, so I feel like that would be attractive to my target audience, and since they are working that like typical 9 to 5 job. As far as rates go, basically the programs from like 12 a.m. to 7 a.m., which no one's really watching, were as low as $5, and the highest one I was able to find was $1,000, and it was called God Friended Me on the Prime program television. And lastly, we'll talk about my billboards, which was Lamar Billboards, also given to me. The reach was as high as 227,000 and as low as 43,000. I thought this was appropriate because, I don't know, the sheer statistics that they were given, 72% of people who've seen an out of home advertisement made a purchase or who had responded to one. Um, they talk about the sheer amount of times on average that people spend in a day, the times outside you spend outside your house. I just think based on that, like the reach alone is enough reason to go with this method of advertising. In terms of cost, um, the highest one that I was able to find was $5,900. There was some out there for as low as $2,000. Again, but that reach is kind of how you justify that price. Okay, thank you.